this video, I'm going to talk about the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight and the business hacks that you can learn that you can implement in your business. So I watched the fight, and a lot of people were disappointed about it. I myself was disappointed. I really wanted Mike to just knock him out, right? And really just taking a bird's eye view as to what happened. You have to understand, these guys are businessmen. Jake Paul's a businessman, Mike Tyson's a businessman, and they're there to make money. They're not there to be there for the people. I believe each of them got paid $40 million each. Mike is like 58 or almost 60. He's literally a senior citizen. And Jake Paul is in his prime. And when I say prime, like prime age, not prime as a boxer, because I don't respect him as a boxer, but who cares about my opinion? But the one thing that they did so well is they created a hype. They built suspense around that fight. Jake Paul has over 1 million fans on YouTube or on social media platforms. And Mike has all the older people that's been watching him since the 80s. So they combine the best of both worlds. Jake Paul has the young, Mike has the old. And it's like old versus young. Knock him out, Mike. Knock him out, Jake. Yeah, we want to see this, right? Mike's a legend. Jake Paul is like one of the greatest entertainer YouTubers out there because he knows how to get people to buy into what he's doing. So if you combine the two of them together, hey, let's do a fight together. Old versus young. YouTuber versus greatest of all time or one of the greatest of all time boxers. So they use that to their advantage. Both of them have a fan base, a strong fan base. So they came together and got their fan bases going up against each other. Like hardcore Mike Tyson's fan, nah, Jake can't knock him out. That's Iron Mike. Jake's been knocking out all these other guys, these washed up guys, or I don't know if they're calling them washed up, but like Nate Robinson. Like, really? Who's Nate Robinson to be fighting Jake Paul? Nate Robinson's like 5'4", Jake Paul is like 6 feet. So to me, that was hilarious. And Jake Paul knew how to capitalize off of that. Oh, let me come in a bit closer here. So he used that to his advantage. And Jake Paul realized, like, hey, boxing is one of those sports people really buy into and watch. Mayweather did it a few times. He would box against Pacquiao and some other guys, and then he had an exhibition fight against somebody, and he made a shit ton of money. So these guys know it's like, hey, it's a one-time event. Let's make the most of it. So before Jake and Mike were supposed to fight a couple months back, but then they postponed the fight. They're like, oh, the medical, blah, blah, blah. But I think they did it because they're like, there's a good demand behind this. Let's make it bigger and keep people in suspense. It's almost like it was a trailer leading up to this because you see Mike training and you're like, yo, Mike looks good. He's in good shape. Jake Paul making all these stupid videos. Entertainment. He entertained you guys while Mike's saying, yo, I'm taking this shit serious. But in actuality, they knew what they're coming into. And I call this like the WWE formula. Create a soap opera around it. People like that stuff. If it's just a regular fight, like, okay, Mike thing and Jake does nothing to make fun of Mike, nobody's gonna buy into that. It's not suspenseful, right? They're playing into people's emotions. Once you got people's emotions wrapped up into what it is that you're doing, they're gonna buy into it all day long. They're like, yeah, I need to watch this. I need to see what's gonna happen from this. Jake Paul eating fried chicken and burgers, putting on the bodysuit, making it look like he's overweight. Like, he's doing this stuff purposely. He's doing it purposely to get a reaction out of you to be like, yo, this guy's not taking it serious. Like, yo, Mike's gonna knock him out. Mike's training so hard and this guy's playing around. But really, that's what they're doing. They're leading up to it. It's like the climax, or they're leading up to it. It's just like a story, right? You find out who the main characters are, you follow their journey, then something happens. So Mike, for example, they're saying, oh, Mike is not conditioned to fight right now. We're gonna have to postpone the fight. It's the lead up. They're doing this purposely. So now they have the lead up built. November time, the fight comes. They do it on the largest platform out there right now, Netflix. You don't have pay-per-view anymore. So for people that are older, we used to have pay-per-view, but they don't have pay-per-view anymore. So they have Netflix. Netflix said, hey, we're the largest streaming platform. Let's take this event and put it on our platform and do it live. Netflix just started doing live stuff, so they said, hey, let's bring the sports to it now, right? Everybody's dialed into Netflix. And guess what? If everybody's dialed into Netflix, guess what else happens? Sponsors are going to reach out. Sponsors are going to say, hey, if there's so many eyeballs watching this event, we want to make sure we get a piece of the pie. DraftKings, Meta, Celsius, all these people were there, or not these people, but all those businesses made sure that their brand was seen. Pepsi, this was held at the AT&T Center, I believe it was called. All these brands knew, hey, these are eyeballs. The more people see us, the more they're gonna buy into us. And funny enough, Meta is one of the brands that stuck out to me. And when I woke up, Meta was one of the first things I was on my head that I can remember. I was just like, Meta glasses, the video game ones, because I think that was like one of the first connections that I made. They're making connections so that you see that brand long enough, you're gonna make a connection and be like, oh yeah, I remember that brand from thing. The more you see a brand, the more likely you're to buy into it. They say you need to be with a brand for like about 7 to 11 hours or 11 touch points. Go look it up and you'll see what I'm talking about. With those things, that's how they get you to buy into their brands. These guys are not dumb. They're here to make money. And if you're not out there pushing your brand, no one's gonna ever know that you exist. So if you have a small business, medium-sized business, even a large business, and you're not advertising, you're doing your business a disservice. You have to be out there advertising on a day-to-day basis, letting people know that you exist. That is the lifeline of a business. If you're not advertising and selling, then what are you doing with that business? There's no point of you being a business. You have a hobby. Leave it to a hobby and that's it, right? But if you're trying to make money from this, you got to go out there and try different things to see what's going to work from what's not going to work. And these guys knew what the formula was. Old fighter, new guy coming in, let's get it working, or let's get it popping, and let's make some money. So that's what they did. They came together, they collabed. Both of them made 40 million each. That's 40 more million dollars to their net worth to fight for 8 minutes. What was it? 8 rounds? 8 rounds, 16 minutes total. 16 minutes total. They prepared for, let's say, a year to make $40 million. 16 minutes in the ring for people to watch all across the world. And boom, they get paid $40 million. Now, that's not to say that you can't do something similar, right? You just got to figure out, what can I do that these guys did to line my pockets? Another thing that was quite funny, everybody's, or the majority of people, Netflix was buffering. I found that to be hilarious. However, everyone's going to be talking about that, oh, Netflix had buffer issues, blah, blah, blah. What I think, and this is just my, this is what I predict is going to happen on Monday. It's not going to be the end of the world for Netflix, because things like that happen, right? But a lot of people are going to be angry about that. At first, I thought it was my internet company, but it wasn't. It was actually Netflix, because when I went on Instagram, literally everybody was showing the wheel of death, and it was just saying loading. I went from my TV to my laptop to ended up watching it on Instagram Live on another guy's page in Dubai. Like, that's how bad it was. So what I predict is Netflix stock is going to drop Monday, not by much, maybe just by little, but then it's going to shoot up after, based off of all the people that watched that fight. So they say, I think it's buy the news or sell the rumor, buy the news, or buy the news, sell the rumor. Google it and you'll see. But I think it's going to dip a bit. And Netflix just hit an all-time high. So it's going to come down just a bit, and then it's going to go back up. So if you're somebody looking to purchase stocks, look into Netflix and see if that's a company that you would invest in long term. So that's what I think is going to happen Monday. So If it does happen Monday, come back to this video and just write in the comments on it. Like, I'd love to see if I was correct or incorrect. But these are lessons that you can take when you see people putting on events like this. Hey, if they're doing something like that, maybe how can I get a piece of that pie? Or what can I do in my business to emulate something like that? So Jake Paul was playing the villain. Jake Paul was playing the villain. When there's a villain, people are always like, oh, I hate this villain. Who's going to be the hero to save us? And the hero in this situation was Mike Tyson. So if you can bring a villain, controversy, that's stuff that sells. You get that in, you do advertising like that, all day people will buy into whatever it is that you're doing. Same thing goes for content that you're creating. You want people to buy into your stuff, create content around controversy or having a villain and a superhero and them going up against each other, because people always want the hero to win, and it's like, oh, I hate that guy. Oh, I can't stand that guy. But look at how people are portraying these villains. Like, I can guarantee you that whole Jake Paul villain stuff is gonna stop. I wouldn't be surprised if Jake Paul goes back to normal and he's like, oh, Mike's a legend. Thank you for doing this and blah, blah, blah. It's all painting a story. You create stories, people buy into it with their emotions, and guess what? They make money. Also, Jake Paul had that stupid perfume that he kept spraying. That's probably his brand. That's him, brand awareness, brand recognition. Oh, I seen Jake Paul spraying that. Let me go and get that. Jake Paul just beat Mike Tyson. Let me go get that. Jake Paul drinks whatever his drink's called. I can't remember his drink. He drinks that. It's like, go and buy that. All marketing. They did this purposely. This is how you grow your company. You do stuff like this to get people to buy in to what it is that you're doing. So that's today's lesson from the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're liking content like this. Also, if there's any type of content that you guys want me to make or topics you want me to talk about, make sure to leave it in the description. And if you haven't checked it out yet, I got the Wealth Builders Academy, where you can click the link down below. It's absolutely free, where I teach how to build an online business so that you can stop trading your time for money. And I'll see you on the next video.